Yes. And you know, something that really stuck in my mind is that if I visit certain sacred places like Machu Picchu or the pyramids in Egypt, excuse me, or any other place which is loaded with history and events and death, I might be able to see something that happened there. So you travel the world a lot. Have you encountered this type of entities when you visit sacred sites, and how it is for you? Can you um, push them off, or can you help them with the transition if they ask for help?
Well, that's a subject I hear of a lot. Now, there's two ways to look at this. And when you visit these sacred places, or maybe places that are very old and steeped in history, it's almost like there's an imprint of what happened there. So the imprint is like a recording in the ether. It's like it will keep playing all the time. But that doesn't mean that spirit are active there. Memory of what happened that's active, and the castles here in Scotland. So if I go to a castle, I might be able to see soldiers on horseback and things like this. It doesn't mean that that soldier is actually there. It just means that the imprint of what happened is there. So mediums do not have to help spirit transition over to the spirit side. The spirit side help that. You know, we are of the earth while we are here. So it's not that if you see these things or you feel these things, it's not like the spirit of that person is stuck there. It's just that the recording of what happened is there. So everyone can, is capable of feeling those things or seeing those things from time to time.
Interesting. Yes, and that's a very good assessment. That is just the imprint and not the spirit. I learned something new today. Thank you. And going back to your grandmother Elizabeth, is there any story she mentioned to you that really made an impression?
She actually told me that her sister once invited her along to like a circle, what we call a circle here in Scotland, which is when people used to get together to sit for communication with the other side. And her sister actually started to go into like a trance-like state and spoke a foreign language. Her guides came through her and spoke a foreign language, and it all made sense. They translated it, it all made sense. And I remember, listening to that and just feeling so excited about that and feeling like I know that can happen. Like it just made sense to me, whereas other people that she was telling at the time were like, really, and they were questioning it. But for me, it just made complete sense that that's what happens.
Very interesting. And because you mentioned Scotland, I think everyone is aware of the Outlander movie and the book. And we know how Kate, moves through time through the stones. So how much truth? Because I think there is some truth there, but how much truth and how much you know about this type of phenomenon?
Well, a lot of people speak about time travelers and, people that can move from one realm to the other. Now, for me personally, things have to be evidential. So even within mediumship, if a medium is coming to give you communication, it has to be evidential. There has to be facts in there that you can verify. With the time traveling side of things, I've not really seen factual evidence of that as such. I'm sure it exists, but I haven't seen it. So I don't know. I feel like I can probably say that when I do astral travel, which is more when the soul leaves the body, when we go to sleep, the soul leaves the body, and I'm very aware of where I am in most of that. So I remember one time knowing that I was in Alaska. Now, I've never been in Alaska, so I wouldn't know that specifically as a human person, but I knew I was in Alaska. I knew that there were, the people that lived there. I knew by the sights and the trees that I was there, and I didn't know how I knew that. So I can liken it to that, just traveling of the soul makes sense to me. So perhaps that's what Outlander's based on too.